Hey there, creators! Ever wonder what it takes to win Best in Show at DemoFest? Well, a little creativity, a dash of innovation, and spreadsheets. That's right. This year, I built a real time leaderboard that lets learners choose their avatar, earn points, and watch the leaderboard update all within the lesson. It's interactive, it's fun, and it's powered by some cool tech, including some AI generated images and videos. In this video, I'm pulling back the curtain to show you exactly how it works so that you can create your own award-winning project too.
Visit my website to explore all my tutorials, including today's feature. The individual tutorial page will highlight the example we'll be creating along with the downloadable working files, completely free. You'll also find written job aids to help you follow along with the sectioned videos.
Let's get started.
In the working files, you're going to find a Google Sheets leaderboard .story file. And within this storyline file, there's going to be a single slide that is symbolizing a gamified lesson. So somewhere in this lesson, you would need to have the learner have their handle or their name or whatever is going to be displayed on the leaderboard. Also, at some point, they have to collect points based on the learner's actions, answering questions right, or actions, or something along those lines. And then lastly, optional, if you want them to have an avatar. Basically, in the leaderboard lesson that I showed at DevLearn, I had 4 options, 4 different characters that they could then choose for themselves that then displayed on the leaderboard at the end. It's a button that changes the number variable 1 through 4. Obviously, you can have a limited amount of options. And then the rest of the lesson, it was a single multi-state image that was set to change at the start of the timeline of that slide based on the number that the avatar was associated with it. As you can see here, previewing the slide, if I change this last one to a 1, it changes my logo. So we're just going to use that as our avatar for now. Then you need to go and set up a Google Sheet. So I'm going to have one in here, but you will not have access to the back end and then the individual sheets and things like that. So you will need to create your own. And it's very simple. You can go to Google Forms. This is the one that I've created for this, but you would just then go to blank form. And you're going to need 1 question for each variable that you would like to pass through. Make sure they're set to short answers so that it'll pass this information straight through into a sheet. So under the responses, we're going to hit link to a sheet, create a new spreadsheet. And so now I have access to a spreadsheet and the form will go directly into here. And it automatically adds a timestamp, even though that wasn't on our sheet. I just have name, points, and avatar to pass through. It gives you the timestamp, the name, the points, and the avatar, and it'll pass through that information. Once you've got that set up, the next thing you want to do is create a pre-filled link. Get pre-filled link on your sheet. And you're just going to type in, this is only so you know which question ID goes to which answer. They're always in order, but just for your knowledge, and you can easily see the division of it because it's all going to be in the URL. So we're going to do just name, points, and avatar. Get the link, and then copy it. And then once you paste it here, this is what it looks like. So this beginning of HTTPS docs, Google Forms, yada, yada, yada. We've got all this mumbo jumbo. This is the ID number of that form, so it knows which form to take it to. And then if you keep going, what you will see here is an entry, this digit here, that is the question ID number, and it equals the answer I put in, name. You go down to the next one, entry. Here's another ID number, and that's the answer I put in, points. And then your last ID number here and avatar. If we replace the name here, the points, and the avatar with variables from Storyline, it will fill in your form the exact variables. All right, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to parse this down and put it into some JavaScript in our Storyline, and that is the next part here. Once we have our Google Sheet ready to go with our pre-filled URL, we will come back to our Storyline file. We're going to add this layer calculate down here, and we need that JavaScript I was talking about. So I will have this in the file. You can copy and paste this into your new file for whatever leader that you're building. If you have more than just 3 variables, you can, copy and paste those for however many variables. This here is your variable name. You need to match this with this. It needs to match perfectly. Upper and lowercase matters. Sometimes I will get so frustrated and don't know why it's not working, and it's something as simple as I transpose letters because I am dyslexic. But it'll be something where something's capital and this is not. So I just get in a really good habit to just Control C to copy, and when I'm writing code, I go back and forth to paste it, or I might put this into a Word doc first. But you want all of these to match your variables in your Storyline lesson perfectly. This script is saying, hey, talk to the player. Player, go get this variable. Player, go get this variable. Player, go get this variable. And then this is what it is recognizing that variable as. I don't know why. I don't speak JavaScript very well. I know just enough to get me by, and I keep learning because I asked ChatGPT to write it. And that's where I get where I am today. But this last part here, leaderboard, now we're not telling the player to go get this variable. We're telling the player, assign this variable in this JavaScript to this first part of that URL. So we took all the first part up until the first ID. So if we go back to this here, basically I highlighted all of this till here. Oop, and the equals. Got to have the equals. So this whole section, stopping right where name starts. And I've pasted that in these parentheses here so that I'm telling it this leaderboard needs to be this chunk of URL. So then down here, I come and I say, I have another variable, scoreboard URL. As you can see, it's not associated to anything that's on this slide. But I am telling, all right, player, now I'm going to have you create a variable, and I want you to set scoreboard URL to be what's after this comma. So after this comma, I've got the leaderboard here, taking this chunk of URL. And then I'm saying, okay, now add the name. So whatever they've typed in and is this variable, it's going to insert that part of the variable here. And then another plus symbol and quotations, that's the next part of our chunked URL. So if we go back to here, I grab the and symbol up to the equals and stop where it says points because that is what I typed. And grab this chunk of the URL, paste it in here in quotations. And then I'm going to say, okay, for this, that is points. I need it to go grab the points variable and insert it here. Next, that last piece of chunked URL. So if we go back here, we're going to go after points with the and symbol all the way up to the equals. Grab this last section of URL, and we are going to paste it here inside of quotations. And then for the answer to this question ID here, we want it to be the avatar. So we're going to tell it to go grab the information that is in this variable and insert it here. And so it creates a URL that is similar to this URL that is our pre-filled URL, but it makes the answers dynamic by inserting the variables of whatever is in that variable at the time that it does this. Okay? So that is what we're telling it. We're creating the URL. The next step is that we need it to actually open the URL. And that is not as simple as you would think it would be. But what we're going to do is I'll add this actual document, but I don't know if you guys knew this or not. Probably not. I don't feel like it's used very often, but I usually find a decent amount of uses for this. But if you take a notepad text document and insert code, and again, I do not write code. I am not great at code. ChatGPT is your friend. ChatGPT wrote me this code that basically says, hey, go get this variable. This is a URL that I want you to open. And it's going to open it. Super cool, right? This is just a text notepad document, but if you save it as a .html, and it will work. Again, I'll have a copy of this in the working files for you, but we are going to, from here, we are going to insert a web object. Then we're going to find where we have saved that. It needs to be in a folder by itself. Remember that. So when you open it up, you actually can't see it, but I promise you it is in there. Now, you used to not be able to test JavaScript in preview mode. There's been updates. You absolutely can now. But you still cannot test web objects in preview mode. So you have to send this to a Review 360 preview in order to actually make sure everything's functioning. Now, I want to call your attention when we inserted this web object, it, adds to the whole space here. But we're also actually generating the link when the timeline starts on this layer. So you got to give it a little bit of time, right? You need to give it, and just to be safe, I'm just going to have it delay a second. So it waits a full second before it actually loads this. So it gives it time to generate, pull all the variables, and then I'm probably over, like it probably doesn't need to be a full second, but we're going to make it a full second. Now, and then on this submit button shows the calculate layer when we submit. So let's go ahead, let's do publish, and we are going to publish to Review 360. Now, something else to note, because you've got all your Google Sheets open and you're logged into your Google account, you will not be able to test it in this browser because it will not load. It won't let you submit an answer to test it. So what you have to do is grab this URL and then open an incognito window. So new private window. And then open the review lesson there. All right, so we're going to enter our name. We're going to do Tia, and I'm going to do 195 points. And I am going to, we're going to say 1 because this is associated with this logo here. So that changed. We could do 2. No, I like mine. Okay. And then once I hit submit, we've got our second delay, and boom, it pops open, and it's all pre-generated with what I typed into the variables. I don't want our users to have to hit submit. So we're going to tweak something a little bit, all right? But we know it's working. It loaded the sheet, and it pre-populated our answers. So let's go ahead and we'll close out of this. We're going to go back to our story line file. Now we're going to open up this JavaScript because the key is in this first part of the URL. So it says view form. Where are you going? Where are you going? Here it goes. This section here where it says view form, that is showing up where we wanted to just submit. We want it to like literally load. All of our stuff's going to be pre-populated and we want it to submit on its own. And the way that we change that is we want to change this and actually change it to form, capital R, response. Response. Just instead of view form, we want form response there and then hit OK. So we're going to publish again. All right, view project, grab this. We're going to open our private window again, paste. Here. Something else to note is, which I have a JavaScript in mind so that it removes all spaces. Because if they type in like Tia the Great or Tia the Amazing, these spaces will mess up the URL. Now, I think there is a symbol you can replace them with, but honestly, it just got a little too weeds. So I just had ChatGPT create basically a JavaScript so that anytime that this variable changed, it was set to run that JavaScript and remove all the spaces and special characters so that it wouldn't mess up the URL chain. So just something to note. I will add that in here so that you will have that as a part of this as well. But we're just going to do Tia and we'll do 210 points this time. I got better. And we're going to change this to 1. And submit. And you can see it went straight. I didn't hit the submit button. When it loaded, it was automatically set. Your response was recorded. So we're going to close out of here. We're going to go over here and oh, look, I have a response. And there it was timestamped. It has my name, the 210, and 1. So everything pulled over like it was supposed to, which is fantastic. And I also will go ahead and tell you another little bonus. I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but on this, when you type in, you usually have to click away. And I don't know if you noticed that mine automatically, when you moved your mouse, automatically lost focus so that it would change the variable. So it was really fast. So within here is this background image here. Executes JavaScript anytime I hover over what I call pull focus, which is the name of the background rectangle there. But it's this simple little element here that pulls the focus away and makes the variable change so that the user doesn't actually have to click on anything and it changes automatically. But that's in here in case you want to know it. All right, we are going to execute JavaScript. I'm going to change this to name. And this is the JavaScript that I was telling you about that will remove special characters and spaces anytime that this variable changes. So we're going to go ahead and hit OK. And we're going to do anytime the variable name changes. So it will run that when they go to enter it. You don't need to put it on every single slide. You only need to have it on the slide that they actually enter their name in. So that has been added to this as well. Let me go ahead and hit save. Now we can test it. Yeah, the great. And it removed the moment I hovered all of the spaces so that it doesn't mess up the URL. Now, the next thing is coming back to the Google Sheets, and it's all about formatting this sheet now. So simple things like, well, I don't want this column here to be here, so I'm going to move it to the end. I want to insert. I'm going to insert a column to the left so that way it's still in here. And I'm going to make this one my actual do avatar image. And that's what that will be loaded. But there is something super cool in here, and this is where ChatGPT came in very handy as well. And that is under extensions, there's AppScript. And you can set it to run script every time that a new item comes in. So again, this was a lot of trial and error to get ChatGPT to write the script that I wanted, to format this every single time a new item came in, to renumber, to add a new rank. That was the other one we did. Insert column to the left. And we did rank. It's still only going to bring in and map what's mapped here. And so if you go to this, you can see there's still no additional questions, but we can add formulas in here, and that's what we're going to start doing next. So next, let's start going over the avatar image. You need to go to your Google Drive. If you don't have one, sign up one for free. And you need to, I created a folder that I'm just calling my Google Leaderboard. And you need to put the images from your storyline file that you're going to be using for your avatar. So in our case, we're just going to be using a couple different logos. And you're going to want to put them into pink, purple, gray. Oh, I thought I had teal in here. Purple, gray, and then I use the teal. I didn't do the gray for the move to trash. And then there we go. Okay. So you're going to drop your files for the different logos here, and then you need to make them so that anybody with the link has access to them. So you can go share, and down here where it says restricted, anybody with the link. So we'll do this one first. We're going to copy that link. And then over here, you're going to add avatar, a sheet. We're going to call it avatar mapping. And we're just going to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. I think I just pasted that there. We're going to hit done. Come to our teal one because that one's next. Share. Change it. Anybody with the link, copy link. Get back to here, paste that one. Purple then pink. Come back to grab the purple, share. Whoop, that's not, I need to make it public. Share. Anybody with the link. Share. And basically, when you look at these, there are IDs in these URLs that we need. Basically, when you look at this full link, everything from the D slash, so like where one starts on this one, until the slash view, that is an image ID. So I need to open those up and grab just those IDs. So I'm going to grab these. copy and paste that right in here into the B column. This is just how I keep myself organized here. And what we're going to do in the avatar image column is we're actually going to do a formula, and we're going to have it look up avatar mapping sheet. And based on what number is in the avatar column, so the E column, it would then reference this sheet, pull this information, and display that image here. So this is, and we don't want G for this, we want E, because we're basically telling it to go look at the number that is in E1. And then pull and view. So this beginning URL is a little bit different than the other one. And we want to look up the ID that is in avatar mapping and then pull over that information, which didn't. So we're going to say, go look at this avatar mapping. We wanted to pull E2, go to avatar mapping, column A and column B, reference column, and return with. Allow access. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. There we go. I had to let it allow access. Now, it's a little funky shaped because I had it do 100 of a 100. So let's go ahead and edit this. The 100 pixels by 100 pixels is we want it to do maybe 200. Let's shrink it down a little. We're going to do 80 here. There we go. And I can kind of make this bigger. There we go. Okay. So I started with the formula that I had figured out for the other board and then just adapted it to this one. So I had to allow it access to this. Now let's just test it and see if another one that comes in here automatically pulls from the list. So I'm just gonna grab the link. Instead of pulling up the lesson again, we're gonna open up in a private window. And we're gonna say the name of this person is test. We're gonna do 50 points and we're gonna do 3. Submit. Come back over here and that automatically pulled the number 3 that was in our avatar mapping image. Because this is a formula, it automatically will generate for the next one that pulls in. Now, if you noticed, I had to then reformat it so that it was 100 pixels or, yeah, 100 pixels or so that you could see the whole image here. And that's where the extensions script that you run can really come in handy because you can have it automatically do that. So this was the leaderboard for the DevLearn lesson. As you can see, I pulled the formula from here and then adjusted it for the formula that we were creating in the leaderboard there in this one. And then adjusted the sizes of the image. So if you go to the extensions, this is all of the crazy information that I had ChatGPT write. It took a lot of trial and error. So you can kind of see it by function. So this first one is retrieving the row of the new submission. And then it is doing the formula for the avatar mapping. And this one is the sheet row height. So it's automatically adjusting my sheet row height to 100 pixels tall. Depending on your actual avatar image, this may need to be changed. And then this is my auto sort. So it is sorting by, it's sorting by points. And the secondary thing that it sorts by is the date. So score first, then the date. And you keep coming down here. It's going to assign it ranking in column A based on the information. So basically what I can do is kind of highlight all this, put it in a text document, and what you can use it ChatGPT to rewrite this. So if you tell ChatGPT what columns that you have, which items, and what you need it to redo, it will work. So let's test that. We're going to copy all this. And I'm going to come over here, ChatGPT. Hey, Chatty. I'm working on a new leaderboard using Google Sheets. I have code from a previous leaderboard that I need you to rewrite. In my new Google Sheet, column A, what is column A? Is my ranking. Is my ranking. Column B is my avatar image that is connected to a second sheet named avatar mapping. Column C is, let's see, column C is username, is the learner name and handle, or handle, I should say. Or handle for the leaderboard. Column D is points, and then we have avatar reference number. Points. Column, E is the avatar reference number that it uses to display an image in column B. I think I have one more. Oh, the timestamp is in column F. Column F is the timestamp. Can you adjust the code below to the new columns I've told you about? And then I just pasted all that code from the other one. And here's your adjusted code for the new columns and the context that you provided. I also had this give a fill to first, that was a gold, and a silver for second if the ranking was second. And if the ranking is third, it would give it a bronze. So those what those are. You can change those or remove those. You can always ask ChatGPT remove them if you're not sure where to pull it. Be like, hey, I don't want to a gold, silver, and bronze color formatting for first, second, and third place. Please remove it. And it will, but we're going to copy that and we're going to come over here and then we're going to extensions, script. We're going to highlight that because we're going to completely replace it. So under this code, if you go to the little triggers, we need to add a trigger on form submit head from spreadsheet on open, and I don't need to be notified, but I guess I think I did do daily, but it doesn't matter. Set it up the way that you want. Please check your pop-up blocker settings and try this again. Always allow pop-ups. Try this again. Advanced. Because it can't verify the validity of the code, it's saying it's unsafe because it's not from a real developer. It's ChatGPT writing it. All right. All right, after some back and forth tweaking, we need to change a couple of things in the formula here. But the one thing that we can also do is we can hide E now and just close it out like that so that nobody can see it. It will still be able to read it, but we need to come in here and we don't want it to be, we want this to be 80 and we switch this to 200 in length. And setting the row high. Okay. Okay. And then you can hit run. And it's a lot of just like whatever errors it's giving you, you have to just go back to ChatGPT and be like, hey, this is the error and how can I fix it? And a lot of back and forth. Okay, so now that we have this, now we've adjusted the size of that. Now the text font and the color, we can make this one a little bit bigger so that it shows the whole. All of that is also in the code, but you can see how we've got first place, second place, third place, gold, silver, bronze, and then this is whatever color that you set it to be. So you can come in here and actually, like, I have to find it. Format, theme. We can pick a theme, customize. We can alternating colors. That was the background. So this is your header color. And then let's say that we want this color to be, let's see, what color do we want it to be? We're going to do different shades of purple. There we go. Let's do, so we've set up our trigger so that it runs when a new item comes in, and then this is our script. I'll copy and paste this into a text document so that you have this to kind of go off of. But in here, if you start looking, there are different colors. It's just all about finding it. So like these are and ChatGPT is really good about explaining the code, which is fantastic for somebody who doesn't speak code well or at all. So like this is the fill color based on rank, and then that's the gold, silver, and bronze. You can get a different hashtag color or hex code color. I don't know why I said hashtag. Hex code color to change those out and just change the hex code in there. So this is the font color. You can come in here and change the font color to whatever you want. I've got the font size at 14. You can adjust that, change that out. And then I have it set to be in the middle of the cell and like centered for certain columns. And even down here for the ranking, this is the formatting for the ranking as well. So if we go back here, the ranking is something that it adds. So like, let's go in there and see. So we know 75 and 50. Let's do one for 60. Okay, so we're going to come back here and get our link. And we're going to open up a private window. Because remember, it will not let you if you're logged in. So we have to pretend that we're somebody else in our incognito window. And we're going to do YouTube is our name. We've got 65 points. And we're going to do avatar number 4. Submit. Close out of that. Come back over to our sheet. And there's our number 4 here. It'll take it a minute, but it will run. It should run. There we go. See, there's a delay. Takes it a minute, but it re-ranked and reordered. There's our 65, which put it in between second and fourth, be third place, and then readjusted everybody. So this is the one we just entered for YouTube and the points, the time, and everything else. So you can come in here and stylize it and change the colors. The 2 different purples will then be alternating colors. You can make this just a single color if you want. If you don't want alternating colors, then you can kind of adjust where you don't really need a full width for the rank. Maybe you want to make the name, because I also limited the amount of characters that they could put in here based on the JavaScript in the storyline folder. Okay, but we've got our actual leaderboard running in here. And now we actually would put the leaderboard back into storyline. So if we want to share, right now it is restricted. We want to share anybody with the link, but we only want to make them a viewer. They cannot edit it. So we're going to copy that link. We're going to come back to our storyline. And then we're going to add a slide. New slide. And we're going to insert a web object. This time, we're just going to paste this link in there. And this is where creativity comes in handy. I masked the other one, but let's go ahead and it'll take trial and error. But we'll go ahead. Let's go ahead and just kind of make it about yay big. See what happens. Let's do a colored so I can kind of, because sometimes it is hard to see. Let's do a colored sheet behind it. And all right. So just so that we can kind of see where it is on the image. And then we're also going to come back here to this layer and then jump to next slide when the timeline ends on this layer. We're going to shorten this layer to 2 seconds. All right. Save, publish. And over here. Remember, we have to open it up in our incognito. Storyline test. And it removed our space. We're going to let's do 65 points again. We want to tie for second place. And we're going to do 4. Submit. And then it jumped to our leaderboard here. And so we've got our view only. We've got, you see it populated down here. Now, what I did was because it does take a minute for this to format. We've seen there's a delay. Nothing we can do about that. So we want to like prevent it from opening up too soon. So what I had done on my DevLearn lesson is on this slide here, when I know it's going to calculate, I actually put a video over this so that the web object was loading behind the video so that the audience couldn't see it. You never saw it happen. It was seamless. And the video maybe lasted 5, 6, 7 seconds. And it went with the theme of the lesson. And it was like showing the trophy and that it was, moving on to the, end of the lesson. You earn in the next round. So you could have some sort of video there that animates like and lets them know like congratulations, you're done, let's see how you ranked against people of your peers, all that kind of stuff there that delays enough time so that when you come back here and load it again, it would have already formatted, because once it loads here, it doesn't really update and there's no like refresh on here that you can make it update. So you need that delay before this loads. Now on mine, what I did was actually cover up and only show what I wanted them to see. So let me show you what I mean by that. I can kind of just show you this as well. Like this is the ending screen. And this part up here covered up that top part of the Google sheet so that you only saw what you wanted them to see, which this can take some tweaking. But you can also kind of make the columns bigger, the rows bigger, but then within storyline, you can then, we are coming to this one here. We're going to insert some more shades. We're going to copy, paste, pull this above. We're going to kind of mask it out. and I'm kind of playing blind here. All right, let's take a look and see what that looks like. So we're going to publish. Masking test instead of making test. We're going to do 50 points. Let's do 45 points. And 1. Masking test down here at the bottom. And we're getting closer. You can see we still want to, hide this section off here. Probably center the ranking, actual header, center that. I don't know, might center more than that, but yeah, you just have to keep tweaking and playing with the format to get this to show up the way that you want it and hide what you want to hide and etc.
And there you have it, your blueprint for creating a real-time leaderboard that takes engagement to the next level. Winning Best in Show Non-Vendor at DemoFest was an incredible honor, but what makes me most excited is how accessible this approach is for anyone ready to take their lessons to the next level. So if this inspires you, give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and share your ideas in the comments below. Let's keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible in learning design. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
The art of creative learning, your